make a quick guess that local reporters are not by the urgent care talking to people.
No, they're not.
Shocking.
And
Go ahead.
if the air is so clean, like they saying it is, then why did it all of a sudden trigger me and one of my good friends' vehicles, the O2 sensor, and our check engine lights came on?
Very important point, Shayna.
Fatih, tell me, how far do you live from this normally?
So right now I live in South Fulton, so it's like between the city and the airport, very close to Mercedes Stadium. And I just got over COVID like a couple weeks ago, and was going on my first like outing on Sunday, and then got hit by the smoke when we were out getting groceries.
There's hardly any view that is more widespread than the view that somehow or other the Great Depression was produced by a failure of private business. That view is held not only by those who are in favor of greater role of government, it is held by almost everybody. I venture to suggest that if you go to any bankers, the people who are here today at this banking conference, and if you talk to them, I venture to say 9 out of 10 of them, if they hadn't heard what I'm going to say, that 9 out of 10 of them would say, well, of course, the Great Depression was a failure of private business. It was due to an overextension, over-speculation in the 1920s, or it was due to an excessive concentration of wealth in the hands of the wealthy at the expense of the poor in the 1920s, or it was due to speculative investment abroad, or whatnot.
But there is another component, which is an exigent circumstance component. And in that, the directive includes provisions where in an urgent situations where lives are at risk and there is imminent risk to lives, well, then these units, these intelligent components can be attached and go help local law enforcement for 72 hours without the required approval. So again, in this directive, there are certain approvals that have to be met. You would have to get approval from the Secretary of Defense, potentially also the President. But under the exigent circumstances clause in the provision in this directive, those units can operate and go into effect for 72 hours without that required approval.
Cultures say that it's an incredible privilege to be born in a precious human body and to live on this beautiful gem, this garden, this delight of a planet. What a gift we were all given when we were given the opportunity to incarnate here, now, on this planet, at this time.
man, after hearing that there were citizens trying to bring them help, but being refused entry by federal law enforcement, was visibly upset. He and his neighbors really thought the country had abandoned them. He insisted that we get into his waterlogged truck, and that he would take us to the radio station so that we could go live on air to tell the citizens trapped in the Keys that we, the American people, were there to help and that the government was trying to stop our efforts. And that's exactly what we did. After that, we were determined to help as many people as we could, but we were met with red tape throughout the whole process and time that we were in the Keys. We finally were able to talk to some authorities to let us down to Faro Blanco Resort in Marathon towards the end of Boot Key. This was the same hotel where state and local authorities were staging their personnel, and they were happy to see us. I was able to coordinate several trucks full of supplies to be brought down to the EOC in Marathon. I was privy to the EOC meeting, but was informed in that meeting that all the semi-trucks full of food, water, and hygiene supplies were to be turned around and not allowed to be offloaded or distributed by the EOC. The reason they gave us was that these donations were not from companies on their preferred vendors list.
How am I supposed to compete with a hedge fund out of Texas on buying a home? It makes you feel insane because it's like there's a conspiracy against me at this point.
If you're looking for a place to live right now, you face a radically different housing market than people did even just 15 years ago. Home prices have gone up, rents have gone up, evictions have increased, and a whole group of would-be home buyers has been priced out of homeownership, becoming permanent renters.
People want to own the American dream. They don't want to rent the American dream.
expose the nefarious alliance between nonprofit organizations and corporations, one that prioritizes profit rather than justice. They document the weakening of labor laws and the evisceration of workers' protections and rights. To enforce this predatory behavior, corporations have not only created, in essence, a global Supreme Court, but raised and funded private mercenary militias to crush labor movements and intimidate and even murder activists. The subversion of democracy abroad is accompanied, the authors argue, by the subversion of democracy at home. The mechanisms of control is used to plunder the developing world are also used in the industrial world. Joining me to discuss Silent Coup is Matt Kennard, a former staff reporter for the Financial Times and co-founder and chief investigator at Declassified UK, a news outlet that investigates British foreign policy.
Where those who perceive truth may strive to make others see.
A big, powerful America, and shoot them for what?
On that continent, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other.